Good morning, guys. This is Danny Jugan with Axis Games. This is our 9th development video, I think. And in it, we are going to be looking at a couple different things. The first is I've finished implementing the runner actions. So last week we looked at jukes, left and right. I've implemented spins and dives as well. That was a big thing that you guys mentioned that you wanted, so we've got those implemented, and I'll show those to you. Also want to show off to you the pitch animation. Last week we looked at the handoff, so I'll show you how the pitch works, and then we're going to work on, just briefly this morning, some O-line, D-line interaction, specifically with the pass block animation of the O-line. So, let's get to the pitch animation. So, focus on the quarterback and watch how he'll pivot and pitch the ball, which I'm happy with the way that looks, and you can do it in either direction. He'll turn and pitch the other way. Alright, and then as far as spins and dives, show you off some of those. So you can spin at any point. You can also dive for the first down. So the way the controls work, you'll be able to use the mouse. You'll be able to use a variety of different controls for the runner actions. I know some people like to use mouse and keyboard, some people like to use controller. You've got some different options for how you choose to do your runner actions. The mouse I found is the easiest. Obviously, if you're using a controller, you'll do your runner actions on the controller. I haven't set up controller support for those yet, but we're looking at the triggers or the bumps, and then diving and spinning with buttons, X button, Y button, something like that. If you're controlling it from the mouse and keyboard, you'll have two options for how you do it. So you can juke with Q and E. You can also juke by left clicking and right clicking, which I found is a lot easier. You can spin by hitting X, and you can dive by hitting R. You can also use the scroll wheel to spin and dive. Excuse me. So spin is scrolling down, diving is scrolling up or forward, which is nice because you got a lot of control over your runner just with your mouse. So that's what we've been working on, and just so you guys have a timeline for what it is that we plan on doing from this point out. Our release goal is in the middle of July. We don't have a specific date yet, but we're looking in July. What we're finishing up now are the animations. If you take a look at the animations we have to implement, we've done a lot of them with the new quarterback pitches, the running animation where he's holding the ball properly, the jukes, the spins, the dives. There's basically two categories of animations we still have yet to put in, and that's the O-line, D-line interaction. There's a lot of blocks and rips and spins and swim moves and that sort of thing. We'll implement pass blocking and out blocks and that sort of thing, just to give it a more authentic feel when you're watching the linemen interact with each other. And the second category that we still have yet to implement are some tackling animations. So we have both a tackling and a being tackled animation. We have a few of them, which will add a lot of variety to the game. Right now there is a single tackle animation, so no matter where or what position the defender is in relation to the person they're trying to tackle. They will always play the same tackle animation, which if you've played the game a good bit, excuse me, if you played the game a good bit, you'll probably have noticed a lot of times if two players, two defenders, go to tackle somebody at the same time, you notice the animation is the same. And so we want to mix that up a little bit, as well as playing some different being tackled animations. So once we finish implementing the animations, we're going to go back to working on the GUI. So we'll fix well, not fix, but we'll do away with the old system and continue to implement the new system in the game. The play selection, looking at stats and all that sort of thing. We'll overhaul that completely. Once that's done, we'll move on to implementing our basic franchise mode, and then we'll be looking at release. There will be beta testing in between. We are hoping to start beta testing in about a month, so probably in the middle or latter part of May. And about middle of June, we plan on running our Steam Greenlight campaign, which would give us about a month to finish things up before releasing in the middle of July. So you'll have to pardon my yawns. It's early here, and we've been rather busy the past few days, so I'm a bit sleepy. Okay, so what I want to work on is I want to work on this pass block animation. And basically what I want is on passing plays, when we've got our linemen down in the stands, I want to have them kind of back up a little bit, because I want to have a nice pocket that's formed. And this kind of, backing up, forming a pocket is what you see in the NFL. And so that's what I want to go with today. So I'm going to work on breaking this up and then implementing it into the game on the appropriate plays. Well, I'll go from here. Basically what I'm doing is trying to get it to loop seamlessly so that he can back up as needed, and I can specify per play how far I want him to back up, because the tackles will want to kind of fan out more than the guards will. We'll call this pass block loop. Let you guys see what I'm doing. See how this looks. Alright, so play starts. Let's take a look at this. I want to go and pull up scripts. So basically what I've done in each play specified stop when they get to their spot. Let's do 4. Okay. This is just so I can keep track of what they're doing. Alright, so let's do, I think we might need a new variable here. let's do, if this makes sense, let's do, thinking how I want to categorize this. It'd be easy to set it up just for passing, but I've got to, or just for pass blocking, but there's a lot of other things I've got to incorporate too. So let's do this. What I'm going to have to set up is going to take a little bit, and I'd like to just basically give you an overview of what I'm going to do, because I don't want this video to be super long this week. Basically, I'm going to assign a value to each action, and so, for example, when the defensive lineman ends up doing like a swim move, or he sheds off the block and makes the tackle, or whatever, that each of those is going to be a different value. This is going to be, kind of rips through and makes the tackle. So if he spins off, so each of those is going to be a different value, and we will play with those values at different levels to see how they interact with each other. So hopefully now you guys have a good idea of what we've done for the runner actions. I can tell you that playing with the spins and the jukes and the dives is a lot of fun, and it adds a lot of depth to the game because it makes you more immersed in what you're doing, because you actually have control over how the runner's behaving besides where they're running. We'll get into this, the blocking as well, combined with the pitches and the handoff animations. The game should look a lot more authentic, and it'll add a lot of integrity to the game with respect to the sim aspect, because I know that, especially when you go back and you look at old versions, the way it looks is old, and it doesn't look very good. So this is going to make it look a lot better. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch these videos and post questions and feedbacks. I hope that you continue to do that as we post these updates and post the screenshots on Wednesday. So thank you so much, and we'll be back next week, hopefully showing off some of these O-line, D-line interactions that we'll be working on. So thanks so much, and we will see you next time.